Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
So at what point did you realize, I think I want to take ownership of this company? And when did that become an option? When was that on the table?
Mm-hmm. So Corbin and I were heading through this rabbit hole of wanting to make some kind of exit with the company. And we thought that was going to be 2027. But where it really started becoming real for me, and then where I really wanted to be the one who took over, was really in the beginning of 2025. So this year. We had made several plans in 2024 with Martin's help. We started getting good coaching. We started seeing the numbers. And then once I saw that the decisions that we made, how the impact they had on the company, and it made us more profitable, it actually felt like I could have control of the business. Because before, it just felt like Arbor Image was this beast of a business that no one could tame or master. And that was just, it was everything we could do just to keep everyone's head above water. But then going into 2025, it was like, okay, no, if we just put certain systems in place and we actually make a business that's worth having, like I can actually grow this thing, and not only grow it, but we can actually make it profitable. So
make it wildly profitable.
Yeah. And it was that confidence that after making a couple of changes that we were scared to make and seeing how successful they were on the back end, that's what gave me a lot of confidence going into 2025 and be like, this could be a real opportunity.
What were some of those changes?
So the biggest thing was just learning about margins. Like once we started learning like gross profit margins, like 2 to 3 years ago, our gross profit margins were like about 40%, maybe a little less, and then right now they're over 60% per month. And it's like, it's a wild difference on that. Like we were able to charge more. We created recurring revenue systems. There was a lot of different things that went into work. And once we started seeing that rise, everything else just became a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay. So you were scared to make some of these changes. Let's walk through, if you don't mind. I think this is really valuable for our listeners. You were at 40% margins, maybe a little bit less, which honestly, I've seen a lot worse.
And actually my recollection is they were less than 40. But,
okay.
Yeah.
But I'm
regardless,
Shaun.
Yeah.
What were some of the changes you first made in detail? Like, okay, we realized that this service line was not making money, so we cut it, or hey, we had to increase our prices this much across the board, or I'll let you jump in.
Yeah. So the biggest thing that started the confidence to started making changes was getting our marketing in order and having way more than enough leads. Once we had
Okay, so what does that look like?
Yeah.
I want to hear. Yeah.
So basically, we went from spending about $5,000 to $10,000 a month in marketing. For a short stint, we jumped up to about $30,000, and we religiously tracked every single lead on a spreadsheet and was incredibly detailed about what was our return on every single lead source. And it allowed us to make decisions of, okay, we're spending $200 per lead on this one, and this one's we get a lead for $30. And they have the same close ratio, same average ticket cost. And we were able to, really boost sales just by learning marketing. And it only took like 6 months of doing that before we had enough data to where we could go back down to about 15,000 a month, 10 to 15.
So having
15,
a lot of
okay.
leads gave you the confidence to bid high. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, confidence to bid really high. So like we took a 20% price increase. Once we really mastered our lead flow, we felt confident that we were closing around 60% of our leads. And we were like, okay, if we just double the amount of leads, we can risk going down to a 30% close because we just need higher average tickets. That was one of the things we were able to walk through. We did a 20% raise on pricing, didn't see a drop in close.
Yeah.
So then
That's huge.
Then we just had a big backlog of work. So we took another rate increase, another 20, 30%. And then we finally saw a small drop in close. And then we went to about a 50% close.
This is fantastic what you're saying. And it's really great to see you talking about how you actually implemented this and how it's changed things and increased your gross margin, allowed you to do even better work. I want to hear, you were just in a spreadsheet, and that's great if that's the case, but how were you tracking these? What allowed you to actually track these things, from the software in place to the system to the people that you had working on this? Was it just you? How did you approach this?
Yeah. So just for some context, we're about a 15, 16 person company. And so we have a full-time office person. We train the office person religiously. The very first thing you ask is, how did you hear about us? And making sure that we track that. But then also we use the system called CallRail, which you can put a different number on all of your different marketing, and then it automatically tracks who calls you from that marketing source. And so that's really good as too. So we had two ways to not only, because sometimes people would see the ad and they just look you up online and call online. So, but that's like less than 10%. Most people, when they see your ad, they're calling the number on the ad.
They click.
Yeah, exactly. So with both of those in place, we track those on a spreadsheet, and we have, we use a CRM called.
And you say was it you tracking the spreadsheet? Was the office person tracking the spreadsheet?
So the office person collects all the initial data on everything. And then me and another employee, we go through and double check everything and put in some of the other metrics, like whether it was approved, average ticket, stuff like that.
And you're grabbing that from Jobber?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So you're grabbing all the average ticket and
whether it converted or not. Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. Okay, cool. And then you're just keeping track in spreadsheet. And then that was allowing you to know which channel you could attribute deals to, close ratios to, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then I'm curious, what were the channels that you dropped?
Yeah. So a lot of it was like Facebook, for example. We advertised a lot on Facebook, and we realized that like we might get 30 leads from Facebook in a month and only close 5. That was one of the first ones we dropped. Yeah. We also had a couple of print magazines that we were in, and they got us business every month, but the business that we generated from that was never enough to actually pay for the ad itself. So that was the next one. There's like, okay, we can cut that. And then we went through a couple of different mailers before we found a couple of mailers that we liked. And, and every 3 months we look at the worst performing ad metric, like which one performs the worst. We would cut that one and find another one.
Yeah, that's really good. I think what's significant for our listeners about what you said, CallRail is fantastic. It's a fairly easy tool to implement, but even more than that, a dedicated person who the first question they ask, or one of the first questions, how did you hear about us? How did you hear about us? Like if you can track that religiously, you'll gain a lot of information. And then it connects to your other data. But without that question being answered and actually getting it from the customer, because you'd be surprised. Yeah, maybe they did see you in the magazine, but they heard about you 5 times before from their neighbor, or they saw whatever. Like you'll always be surprised. And it's a really easy thing to implement. It's just you have to be diligent about it.
Yeah.
So very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you, so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, might be there, might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.